Hey guys, so we are starting our astrological week this week with the moon in Leo making aspects to planets. We'll talk all about that. The moon in Leo also means that the moon will be moving into Virgo this week, setting us up for our full moon in Virgo and Pisces, our last full moon of this astrological lunar year that we have been in since April 11th, 2021, that is rapidly coming to a close this week. We have our full moon and we have a whole bunch of other stuff going on too, you guys. So let's get into the energetics of today and see what all is before us. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Monday, March 14th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook for the day. Hope everyone had a beautiful weekend with our very spiritually infused weekend of healing energy going on with that Sun-Neptune conjunction and also the moon forming the Grand Trine. That was a really powerhouse activation that we had over the weekend. And today, to start our week off, our week that is going to be hosting this full moon in Virgo that we have coming up, this big full moon in Virgo, closing out this astrological lunar year, as I mentioned in my intro, we've got a Leo moon today, you guys, really setting our heart on fire and setting up some interesting aspects going on in the sky as well. Now, aside from the primary moon aspects that we have going on today, we need to keep in mind, we do still have Venus and Mars in a conjunction in the sign of Aquarius, although now they have moved to a 1-degree orb separation and Venus is taking the lead. We also still have the Sun in a conjunction to Neptune right now, although the Sun has moved forward a degree. They are a degree separation in their orbs and this energy is waning out, but still a bunch of that Neptune Sun influence carrying over from the weekend. So let's talk now specifically about this Leo moon making aspects, what's going on with the planets today outside of the ongoing conjunctions that we already know are part of our experience. So the moon in Leo is a fixed sign. Leo is a fire sign. So this is telling us this is going to be more of a fiery day right off the bat. Leo rules the heart. Leo rules fun. Leo rules pride. Leo rules the ego. So we want to watch that a little bit. Leo also rules romance and just like a carefree spirit. Leo also rules children, desire to have fun, just really wanting to like celebrate and enjoy life when we have a Leo moon. A Leo moon also makes us very, very expressive. And a lot of times we really want to be sort of communicating our emotions or how we're feeling in sort of like a more flamboyant way, or a way that can just be seen and noticed and recognized and get attention. There's some type of like emotional significance a lot of times going on, or that we just need our emotions, the moon ruling our emotions, our feelings, what's going on inside of us, to be heard, to be respected when we have the moon in Leo. So just a little bit about the little descriptive about the general of how this aspect can sometimes make us feel. But the moon in Leo being the fixed sign, being the oppositional sign also of the sign of Aquarius, means that the moon in Leo is going to be setting us up with an opposition to Venus and Mars, the divine cosmic lovers in the sign of Aquarius in a conjunction right now. This is talking about conceiving or fertilizing or beginning a process of like very intense creativity or creation within us in regards to our authentic potential that can carry us forward into the future. This is us essentially creating a new reality for ourselves going forward based on our true authentic desires and our true authentic passions and what can truly bring us back to life and help us to create and cultivate life, or, you know, abundance or pleasure or value in some way for ourselves going forward. This is a very powerful conjunction that is really trying to help us birth a new version of ourselves, essentially. And it is also bringing in some very profound soul connections in terms of these divine unions, these soulmates, these like destined pairings coming in this energy as well. But anyways, back to the moon and Leo coming in opposition today. This is sort of telling me that emotionally, the moon, we are going to be reflecting again the opposition, really looking across, bouncing back our emotions and what we're creating, what we're desiring desiring, what we're passionate about, the things that this new version of ourselves that we are coming into now, transforming into now, conceiving now, that is going to be taking us into the future. It's like that moon in Leo is sort of maybe having us wanting to like show off and express a little bit these upgrades that we're making, this new version of ourselves that we're becoming and we're starting to embody, sort of maybe feeling ourselves a little bit today in the energetics as well. But really with that moon in Leo forming the opposition today to Venus and Mars in Aquarius, it's like whatever we've been putting our energy into, wherever our desire and our heart is aligned right now, the things that we are creating, the person that we are becoming, it's like we are really wanting to sort of show that off and really like express that or align with it or embody it or just represent it in some way today. But there is another aspect to this moon that we have going on, and that is that the moon in Leo will also be forming a square to Uranus in the sign of Taurus. And Uranus actually, yesterday on Sunday, I forgot to mention this on my weekend report, just moved forward a degree from 12 degrees of Taurus to 13 degrees of Taurus. And Uranus is a very, very slow moving planet. So when Uranus changes degrees, this definitely puts an emphasis on Uranus. And therefore, also as a result, a lot of times the changes that are happening for us, these like big life transforming changes that a lot of us are going through right now, a lot of that has to do with Uranus and the fact that we have been in a year that was defined by Uranus squaring Saturn, really like this fresh new change upsetting the status quo in the long-term established order of things. Uranus is a major player planet, and Uranus also rules the age of Aquarius and those frequencies and vibrations. And when Uranus is active, when Uranus is making an aspect, when Uranus is moving a degree, this is activating this energy that has been ongoing all year that is really creating these like major shifts and changes in our lives. And Uranus is the great rectifier. Uranus puts things right, but Uranus, it's like when we can't make changes for ourselves for whatever reason, Uranus sort of comes in and throws everything up in the air and makes them for us. And at the time that it's happening, it usually is not like the most comfortable experience, but it's that sort of thing. It's like a silver lining when you're looking back on it. You're like, oh my God, like thank God this thing happened, even though it was like the worst experience ever, because if it didn't, I never would have been freed this way in this way that I needed to pursue this. And then these amazing things wouldn't have happened. It's like that type of thing. Uranus is always freeing us from situations that are not good for us, but that we can't figure out the solution to free ourselves. Uranus comes in and brings like big time solutions, but it also shakes things up, causes disturbances, and with the moon also making the square to Uranus today while opposing Venus and Mars. This is not exact. Uranus is at 13 degrees of Taurus. Venus and Mars are at 7 and 8 degrees of Aquarius. So the moon will oppose first and then square. But I'm kind of getting the vibe today that it may be like a scenario like we are really sort of like wanting to show off something that we've been working on, something that we've been creating, a new this is also very, very, very much so energy of recreating ourselves. I think I said that, but recreating ourselves, recreating our identity, like anything like that, like really wanting to sort of like show off or express this new version or this new creation or this new idea or something that we've been working on, that we have a lot of passion and desire wrapped up into, that means a lot to us, really reflecting on it and being in alignment with it today in terms of what's going on in our heart and feeling like really proud of it. However, sort of like when we go to show it off, we might not receive the response that we were expecting or anticipating, or it might just throw us off or upset us emotionally in some type of a way. That is sort of how this energy could go, because the Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, ruled by Venus, who the moon in Leo is opposing today. And, that moon in Leo is like very attached to like our pride. And, there's, like I said, some ego wrapped up in it as well. But, it's just like very, very heart-based. And we could be feeling like very proud of ourselves or something for some like change that we're making or how we're recreating or what we're creating or something like that. And there may just be some type of unexpected response that causes a little bit of like shade or emotional upset or something like that. But the thing is, when we have the moon in square to Uranus, this is the type of energy also where we don't want to just like respond or react hastily or spontaneously, impulsively to like whatever may be said or whatever we might hear or whatever. whatever might be going on in that moment. Like, we really don't want to be like jumping to conclusions or making assumptions in this energy, making impulsive decisions as well, like I said, because we could be misunderstanding things, or they may just not be exactly as they appear. And in the context of this opposition from the moon to Venus and Mars as well, we just really don't want to be attaching, definitely don't be attaching to anyone else's response to anything you're trying to express that is like really from your heart and means a lot to you today. Don't take that as like some type of reflection or validation or lack thereof of the significance or the value, Taurus and Venus, of whatever you're creating, okay? If it's meaningful to you in your heart and it's in alignment with your authenticity and it makes you feel proud of yourself and it makes you feel like filled with your own light and just like feel like you're filling your own cup through doing this, keep doing it, because, you know, other people are not necessarily going to be having the best just random stuff. Like their response could literally have nothing to do with you. So just keep that in mind in what we are navigating today. This moon square Uranus, this aspect can also bring these like unexpected emotional upsets or bizarre generally interactions with others. And another aspect of this energy is it really has a tendency of making us feel like sort of fiercely rebellious and independent. Like, this is the type of energy, you guys, if you have children, like if you're just dealing with people generally, where no matter how good of advice you're offering, no matter where your heart is, or, you know, what you're saying, what you're contributing, in interpersonal dynamics, people are going to have a tendency to just want to do the exact opposite of whatever you're saying, just simply for the purpose of doing the exact opposite of whatever you're saying. So just keep that in mind today as well, and try not to take it to heart again with this Leo moon that we have going on. We don't really want to be taking other people's erratic behaviors or their responses to what we are trying to like, display or express or show off as something like very serious today, because we're just in this energy and people are just doing their own thing, not wanting to be restrained, not wanting to be controlled, not wanting to be told what to do. Even if it is in their best interest, they're still likely to make their oppositional choice anyways, just because they want to go against the grain, they want to go against the status quo. We have a moon in square to Uranus. We generally just don't want to be dictated to really in any type of a way. Can make us really impatient with restraints, duties, obligations as well. Another aspect of this energy, and there is just a great need to be like free and wild and to have fun, especially with the moon and Leo going on as well. That's another thing. Be very, very careful, you guys, with Uranus in Taurus and the moon in Leo forming the square opposite Venus and Mars in Aquarius, not to like go blow a bunch of money indulging on some frivolous, like, I just need to have fun in this moment, I just need to break free in this moment. Just be careful with like because we're talking about Uranus in Taurus. This is the financial house. This is, you know, our abundance, our resources, our money. Uranus, unexpected, squaring the moon in Leo, just wanting to have fun, just wanting to have a good time, just wanting to be joyful and, you know, feel like a kid again or something like that. And this like emotional energy that is just pushing us to sort of like break the rules and break free from restrictions and be like young and wild and free. Just watch, you know, make sure it's not just like burning a super hole in your wallet that you might be like a little bit like about later, because that could be an indication of this energy as well. Yeah, so I wanted to make sure to mention that. Last thing, well, I want to talk about Sabians. We'll talk about Sabians in a minute, but also, as I mentioned, we have Uranus. We also had Uranus recently moving, changing degrees. So this is also sort of moving things forward in this awakening, in this energetic vibrational shift that we're going through right now, in this evolution consciously into the age of Aquarius. So again, a little bit of that active Uranus energy, and Uranus is in play today again, of course, with the moon in square. Uranus, though, is moving to 13 degrees of Taurus, and that Sabian symbol, or that specific degree described in a symbolic form, so that we can just gain some more information about what is going on with this planet at this degree. That's what the Sabian symbols do in a nutshell. 13 degrees of Taurus is a porter carrying a heavy a mountain of heavy baggage. And with Uranus at this degree, Uranus is the fixer. Uranus is the problem solver. Uranus is the great rectifier. With Uranus at this degree, I'm feeling like sort of, and we've been going through a lot lately with that grand conjunction, Venus, Mars, Pluto, all this energy. Now we have Jupiter and Neptune building into this really magical conjunction in the sign of Pisces. This Uranus being at this degree now is making me feel like, over this next few weeks, universe will be taking our baggage, taking our burdens, lifting our load, and helping us so that we can really maneuver forward with a weight lifted. Navigate easier through the things that we are headed towards now after things have gotten so heavy, probably likely over this past couple of weeks to months with all of this Pluto energy that we've been dealing with. So I like Uranus at this degree as well, Porter carrying a mountain of heavy baggage, really lightening the load for us as we are headed towards this age of Aquarius and going through this energetic shift. Let's talk about the rest of the Sabians we have in effect today. There is, aside from the energy today that is sort of pushing for us to, Moon square Uranus, this is that liberation, this is that freedom energy, this is that break the chains and really wanting us to step into our authentic truth, unencumbered energy, also in the reflection of this rebirth process, of this recreation of ourselves that we're going through. It makes sense sort of that we have the sun today discharging 25 degrees of Pisces. I am rounding up a degree when I'm looking at the Sabian symbols. And so 25 degrees of Pisces, that Sabian symbol is the purging of the priesthood. This is purging hypocrisy and corruption and like rooting out darkness that is supposed to be like a sanctity for like purity and good and light. But the purging of the priesthood, this is generally speaking to a cleansing of what was corrupted. And that sort of seems like a little bit of what we're doing in the aspects today too, really reflecting on this recreation that we are making and cutting ourselves free from things that have tried to corrupt it or hold us back with that moon or anything that we feel is corrupting our process of being able to stand in this new created version of ourselves that we're headed to right now. Also, on a more collective level, on a more macrocosm level, this symbol also speaks for itself a little bit. The purging of the priesthood. There is, and we are in this period right now of rooting out longstanding abuses of power, longstanding corruption in leadership, establishment, authority, places, people in places of power, with Pluto in Capricorn having just made this conjunction with Venus and Mars. Also, the Pluto return of the United States. A purging of the priesthood is probably the purging of the lower vibrations and the lower frequencies is something that has been going on a lot lately, and it is being spoken about specifically in the energetics today. We also have the Earth today at 25 degrees of Virgo, a flag at half mast in front of a public building. So there may be a more serious or sober atmosphere just generally on the ground today going on, outside of the fact though that we do have this sparkly Leo moon that is reflecting on this new direction that we are growing and creating right now. But there may just be some more serious things, more serious tone to things that we're generally navigating today. We have Mercury at 8 degrees of Pisces, a girl blowing a bugle. With the purging of the priesthood, there could definitely be some corruption that's being spoken about in the headlines today, or we may just be really figuring out in our own lives, like seeing the light, hearing the trumpets, gaining the awakening, getting the wake-up call, and realizing what needs to go, like what is no longer serving us or what has been distorting our image of ourselves and our own ability to rise into our truth and our potential. We have Venus today at 8 degrees of Aquarius, beautifully gowned wax figures on display. We have Mars at 7 degrees of Aquarius, a child is seen being born out of an eggshell. This, I feel like, is talking about this this beautiful new reality, this beautiful new version of ourselves that we're in the process of creating right now and really wanting to put on display, as I was saying, with that Leo moon. And again, with the square to Uranus, though, we just may not exactly get the response today that we're looking for, but to no avail. That should not shake our shine, you guys. Don't worry about other people's responses. If you are feeling good about it and emotionally aligned about it and positive about the direction and it's filling you up on the inside, then other people's responses don't really matter at this point in time. Just keep going and the love will come. Just recognize your own value, and over time that value will be recognized as well. We have Saturn, 21 degrees of Aquarius, a woman disappointed and disillusioned, courageously facing a seemingly empty future. We can't lose hope right now, you guys, even though things may look bleak or dark or like we can't see the other side or we don't know what could possibly be waiting for us. We really just have to maintain the faith because God has weapons that we know not of. And it's really amazing how things can turn around. So we really just need to not be too hard on ourselves and try to maintain our faith and not be too self-critical in this energy. Jupiter moving to 18 degrees of Pisces. In a gigantic tent, villagers witness a spectacular performance. Again, with this Leo moon energy, this may be like accentuating or expanding upon our ability to really show off what we've been working on or what we've been creating or who we've been creating ourselves into in this energy. But also, again, with this Jupiter degree, we had another degree being discharged by Jupiter in the past couple of weeks that was sort of saying the same thing. But this to me is indicating some performances going on. This is a spectacular performance. The whole world is a stage, essentially, to me at this point in time with Jupiter at this degree. And we need to keep in mind that what we are seeing on this world stage at this point in time is not necessarily an organic, authentic expression of truth, even though it's Jupiter at this degree, the planet of expansion and the planet of truth. That expanded truth that Jupiter is indicating right now is a spectacular performance. Okay, so the expanded truth, the conscious reality that Jupiter is indicating right now, the conscious wisdom, the expanded viewpoint, the overall view, the blown up perspective that Jupiter is offering is that the world is a stage right now and we are witnessing a spectacular performance, or rather a gigantic tent, and we're witnessing a spectacular performance. So just something to keep in mind, even in weird things that are happening in your daily life, like seriously, don't necessarily get too attached to things that just pop up randomly in the moment, come out of nowhere, causing this great dire concern and all this stuff like this, because a lot of things are not as they appear right now. We're also in a period of some very great illusions that are surfacing so that they can be broken through, essentially. But spectacular performances abounding, you guys. That is the higher truth coming from the planet Jupiter, ruling the higher truth in the sign of Pisces, trying to dispel these illusions. So just something to keep in mind. We have, as I said, Uranus moving to 13 Taurus, a porter carrying a mountain of heavy baggage. Your universe is sort of taking things from here also, I feel like this is saying. And then we have Neptune and Saturn, or Neptune and Pluto. Neptune at 23 Pisces, a materializing medium giving a seance, and Pluto at 29 Capricorn, a woman reading tea leaves. The ability to connect to the spiritual planes, to the invisible planes, to the higher realms, to the higher self, to the real true power within our own subconscious mind. Very, very strong right now. Very, very powerful right now. Seeking spiritual guidance, connecting to our intuition, paying attention to dreams, paying attention to signs, synchronicities, asking for signs and synchronicities, asking for tangible guidance that you can understand and that you will know when you receive is an indication to do X, move in such direction. Very powerful right now. Very powerful right now. The planet of death, rebirth, and transformation, talking about a woman reading tea leaves, being able to tap in and gain the information that's coming to help us understand how these cards are falling. Neptune, the spiritual planet in the sign of Pisces, the most spiritual of the signs, a materializing medium giving a seance, talking about being able to connect to the psychic plane right now, connect to God, connect to divine, connect to spirit, connect to universe, connect to our higher selves, and really be guided if we are lacking clarity in this Neptune energy. This Neptune energy with Jupiter here and the sun as well is actually trying to bring us a dispelling of illusion, a dispelling of confusion, a dispelling of the spells that we maybe have been operating under. And yeah, we also got the South Node right now at 25 degrees of Scorpio. An X-ray photograph helps in the diagnosis. This is also telling us that this spiritual penetrating insight, giving us this penetrating insight, penetrating vision into the problem, into what we need to help us diagnose the problem so that we can release it, we can move on, and we can move forward to begin creating in this North Node energy through this authentic potential, through our own inner resources, and attracting what is going to bring us a much greater sense of fulfillment and faith and trust in ourselves and our beliefs and our abilities to create going forward. So very interesting, all of these Sabian symbols that we have at play today. Again, I feel like there is this changing of the guard energy that is going on, the purging of the priesthood, this grand cleansing of these old established orders that maybe have lost the sanctity of the integrity in which they achieved their status or their purpose in the first place. So that's going on. And we are rebelling against today the orders or the rules or any type of restraints being placed upon us. And we are really wanting to align with, express, show off, and embody this recreated version of ourselves, or the things that we are birthing, creating, and really desiring and passionate about now. We are aligning with that, and we are definitely wanting to sort of just shine that out to the world today. And one thing we are not doing is going and sort of just like squandering a bunch of resources or money or something trying to like soothe this desire to break away or to have fun. If that's something that you want to do, you know, if that's something you got the means to do that, like by all means, great. You know, this will probably happen in this day anyways, but just pay attention. Make sure you're not really like just throwing out the baby with the bathwater today, so to say. So that's what we got for the astrology report today, you guys. Let's jump into the tarot. Let's talk about the tarot cards for a quick minute. Tarot time, everybody. And it really actually is so funny in the context of these Leo moon aspects we have today, the cards that came out of the deck when I was shuffling this morning, asking God, Spirit, Universe to please give me some graphic symbolism to help me understand the state of what's going on in the collective of humanity in the context of these astrological energetics. So the first card that came out of the deck today, you guys, was the King of Wands. That is some hardcore Leo moon energy right there. That is that like feeling very much in our creative power, like in our passion and our desire and the power, and recognizing like our talent and our creativity, and just sort of feeling very self-assured. And again, like I said, sort of like feeling ourselves a little bit today and our abilities and the things that we've created. The next card that came out was the Fool. Inhibitions to the wind. Get me out of this humdrum, mundane crap. I want to go experience something exciting and something new today. And I'm feeling very self-empowered and in my own creativity and in my passion to do so. Sort of just want to break free from any mundane everyday activities that I have going on. And why the next card that came out, the Justice card, because something has been out of balance. I've been working too hard. Something has been going on. Things have been too difficult. I haven't been having enough fun. I haven't been expressing myself enough. I haven't been able to enjoy my life enough. I haven't been able to celebrate my accomplishments, or things have just generally been unfair in some type of way. And there's a sense of balance that needs to be restored. Justice. This would also associate to the sign of Libra, which would also be ruled by the planet Venus, who is in the opposition from that moon in Leo today, which would be the King of Wands. And the Fool, this reminds me, I mean, this is not a card necessarily that is ruled by Uranus, but today in this energy, it really feels like that. Like this card sort of is like sort of what I'm like imagining our like inner spirit sort of wanting to do today. Just sort of like start something fresh, like go in a new direction, just like screw it, because I'm feeling really sort of good about myself and I really need to restore the balance or the justice or the peace, my inner peace. That's also what it could be, is just this desire to try to restore this inner peace in some type of way. And then even on the back of the deck, we had the Five of Swords in reverse. And the Five of Swords, this is a card of conflict. This is a card of stealing power. But with the Five of Swords in reverse, this is like not wanting to fight. This is like laying down the swords. This is like deciding to walk away from the conflict. And again, with this Uranus energy, just like not wanting to engage, just like wanting to go another direction. And really, like, that is what this is telling me. And then under that, we actually had the Ace of the Ace of Swords, and then under that we actually had the Three of Wands. So yeah, that's just affirming actually all of these messages based on this fresh idea and this desire to, you know, new horizons on our mind. But yeah, it's very, very funny. Like, I feel like these cards are actually kind of a perfect representation for what we have going on in the energy today. Just really in that Leo moon energy, really much so in our sense of like self-pride and the things that we've been creating, really kind of inspired and just filling in our power through this like Mars-Venus energy, this creative energy that we have going on, and this recreated version of ourselves, like really wanting to embody it, feeling ourselves, as I've said several times, and this desire to really sort of like break away, do something wild, do something exciting, do something fresh and new that brings us a sense of inner balance, restores our inner balance, restores our inner peace, rebalances the scale for us in some type of a way, and walking away from the conflict, not wanting to be involved in the conflict, laying down the weapons, going in a new direction, because we've gotten some new inspiration. We are seeing the bigger picture. We have our eye on new horizons. Oh, and then actually we had even under that is the Devil in reverse. And because we are breaking ourselves away from these toxic attachments of the past. So I found that to be a really, really cute and funny confirmation, essentially, of the energy that we have going on today from the aspects. It was like a really perfect way of describing, in my opinion, the aspects that we have in effect today. So now let's get a synchronicity card, you guys, for us for today. See if there's anything else that we need to know that God would like us to be wary of or just take into consideration as we are going through our, this card wants to come out, as we're going through our path today. And it says, change your thoughts. We get this one often. This is definitely like big time stuff that we're working on right now. It's very important. I feel like I pull out this card all the time. And it shall prosper in the thing for which I sent it. Isaiah 55:11. Whatever seed you plant will come back to you in its fruit. If you plant a bitter seed, you will get a bitter fruit. Sweetness will beget sweetness. Likewise, flavor your thoughts and your speech with sweetness, that you may dwell in a sweet life. Holding to your present thoughts will bring you in happiness. So as we are navigating whatever we're dealing with today, apparently the advice, the guidance from universe is to make sure that we are keeping our thoughts aligned with the direction that we're heading. Again, like I said, with that moon opposite Venus and Mars, really reflecting on what we're coming into right now, what we're creating right now, who we're becoming right now. With this square to Uranus and Taurus, we might be just getting a little bit of bizarre, unexpected responses from people, and it could be causing a little bit of that emotional upset, and we don't want to attach to other people's versions or views or perspectives of us, especially if it could, cause us to change our thoughts and come out of that place of power. Remember, the King of Wands, this is like very, very powerful manifestation energy based on that pure creativity. And we don't want to be having a destructive manifestation potential because we are aligning our thoughts with destructive lower vibrational energies, because we are attaching to other people's destructive lower vibrational thoughts and energies. So change your thoughts. Sweetness begets sweetness. That is the advice from God for today, you guys. So that is what I have for my report. That is the message from the stars. That is the message from the cards. I hope I was able to give you guys something of value that can provide you something to help you navigate your day in some type of a way. If you guys liked this report, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would be interested. Leave me comments, you guys. Definitely love your comments. I love you guys so much. Thank you for writing to me. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a TikTok, an Instagram, and a website. They're in my description box below. Oh, and some people have been asking if there's any way to donate to my channel. And just for anyone who is wondering, I linked my Cash App and my PayPal and my Bitcoin address, my Bitcoin wallet in the description below in case anybody is interested in any of that. And yeah, so that's what I guess I have to say today. We do have that full moon coming this week, you guys. A lot of more big energy coming. So come back with me tomorrow. We will talk all about it. You don't want to miss it. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you then. Bye, guys.